Here's the best part of Leviticus. I don't know if you caught this, but in verse 29 and 30, it actually shows us what's required of us in order to receive the benefits of the atonement. What do we have to do? What do we have to do? Look what this verse says. And it shall be a statute to you forever, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict yourselves and shall do what? No work. That was the Sabbath. They were told to honor the Sabbath, and that's what was required for them to reap the benefits of the atonement. Simple. What do they have to do? Rest. Literally rest in what God had already done for them. And the same is true when it comes to our faith. We're saved by faith alone. We're saved by grace alone. And that grace is so great because it requires zip on our behalf, except for us recognizing that Jesus is our atonement and just falling back into his grace. Can you imagine if we lived with that type of realization, knowing that it was only by grace that you're saved, that it's only through faith, that it's not of ourselves, that we don't have to earn, we don't have to strive, we don't have to work, and we certainly don't have to look behind us and have to deal with the shame and the guilt of the past. You rest. How cool is that? And you reap all the benefits of the atonement. And then, as a result of resting, here's what you do. You respond. You rest and you respond. You respond to the grace that was given to you. What's interesting is that commentators point out that the order of events in this chapter, if you look at chapter 16, is quite significant because the first 28 verses is all about what the high priest is supposed to do. There's all these specific rules and all these different things of what they should do, when they should do it, how they should do it. So for the first 28 verses, it's all about what the high priest does. And then, and only then, what we're supposed to do after that in verse 29, which was what we just read. In fact, if you look at the laws before and after chapter 16, so chapters 1 through 15, and then what happens after chapter 16, they're different in nature. The laws in chapters 1 through 15 all have to deal about the construction of the temple, the ordaining of priests, how to offer the sacrifices. It's all about how to do proper worship. And then comes the Day of Atonement, which is the ultimate day of worship. And then everything after chapter 16 has to do with how to live. In other words, the first half of Leviticus is about worship. The second half of Leviticus is about how to live. If I could put it like this, here's the big idea of the message. If you can go to the next slide, guys. You need to worship God for what he's done and then live in light of what he's done. That's what responding to the grace that has been given to you is all about. And that's what Leviticus points to. Because of who God is and because of all that God has done, what is my and what is your reasonable response in light of what he is and who he is and what he's done?